All right, let me cut across to our top story here on fake ORS that's now been clamped down on, but it seems like those manufacturers have asked for a little more time until stocks are sold. Is it fair? A major twist in India's crackdown on fake ORS drinks. The Delhi High Court has now put the Food Safety Authority's ban on pause. The court has granted an interim stay on FSSAI's October 14th to 15th orders after a plea by JNTL Consumer Health, which is a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson, appealed to court saying that they have unsold stock. The order now allows the company to keep selling its ORS-branded drink, at least for now, until stocks are out. It appears that the court has also given them time to come back and give their version of the story in court. And that's to happen in a few weeks. JNTL argues that it has stock of nearly 155 to 180 crores, which is now caught in limbo. So Justice Sachin Datta said that FSSAI cannot enforce a ban entirely on the companies selling stocks that exist without these companies given a proper hearing. But behind this order, we know, is a lot of fight, a lot of sweat that's gone into achieving this 8-year battle that a Hyderabad-based pediatrician, Dr. Sivaranjani Santosh, has fought. She's filed 3 PILs, years of research, and finally she managed to expose the so-called ORS drinks that are loaded with sugar instead of electrolytes. Her fight led to FSSAI's ban that aimed to protect millions of children from dehydration-related harm. Now, the regulator had made it quite clear. No brand can use the word ORS unless its formulation matches the World Health Organization standards. For years now, drinks like ORSL and Rebalance with ORS sat on pharmacy shelves right next to real medical ORS sachets. Parents assumed that they were the same and they went on to buy it, feed their children. These so-called rehydration drinks had sugar levels up to 10 times higher than what's medically prescribed in ORS by the WHO. Some even marketed themselves, the brands marketed themselves as doctor recommended, while being nothing more than just sweetened beverages. According to WHO norms, a true ORS should have at least 2.6 grams of sodium chloride, 1.5 grams of potassium chloride, 2.9 grams of sodium citrate, and 13.5 grams of dextrose per liter of water. So that's only about 1.3 grams of sugar per 100 ml, while many bottled drinks contain at least 8 to 12 grams of sugar. That's nearly 5 teaspoons of sugar per pack, which is a complete no-no, especially if you're dehydrated, you're taking ORS. Imagine loading yourself on sugar like that worsens dehydration. Even real ORS, for that matter, needs to be used the right way. In fact, a 4-gram pouch of ORS should be mixed with a 200 ml water, and 20-gram pouch should be mixed with 1 liter water. Mixing it wrong also could make things worse for those wanting to drink it for certain health reasons. Dehydration is a key issue here that you drink ORS for. Now you have sports personalities, you have basically just about anyone drinks ORS to rehydrate yourself. Whether you're sick or not sick, you're tired, ORS is something that you believe will rehydrate you. But imagine if it is loaded with sugar, then what do you do? The High Court stay now really brings this debate back yet again. Should commerce override child's health? Can the existing stock really be sold when we've nearly won this battle? How will FSSAI ensure hospitals, pharmacies and schools stock only genuine ORS while the matter currently plays out in court? How long will it take for the actual stock to be cleared? We have with us Dr. Sivaranjani Santosh herself, the pediatrician and social activist who have really fought for years to ensure the ban on this ORS. We also have Padma Shri Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, chairperson of Nephron Clinic, and Dr. Shikha Sharma, nutritionist and scientific mentor, Ranfort Wellness. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. I'll start, of course, with the lady who's been, fighting this battle, finally won, nearly won, until you have Johnson & Johnson subsidiary coming out to say, let us first sell our stocks. Dr. Sivaranjani, thank you very much for fighting this case, ensuring that Indian children are healthy. At least they don't reach out to the false product. You've created awareness, whatever said. What made you take on this billion-rupee brands? You know, you have multiple brands offering fake. At least now we know it's not the real deal. But they say it's doctor recommended and whatnot. You have the company, a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson, who's now gone to court saying, allow us to actually finish our stock. You know, it's unfair to us to put a halt suddenly. So How would you view this? The battle is nearly won, but not yet.
There is some small clarification I would like to give. The court didn't tell them that they can finish their stock. Basically, they have approached the court requesting suggesting or requesting that FSSAI give them an audience. FSSAI listens to their representation and then takes a decision. So then the court asked FSSAI if it's okay with that request, and FSSAI consented to the request. So a consent order was issued saying that this JNTL will be given 1 week's time to represent its case to FSSAI, and FSSAI has to hear it out and give its decision. So today it's been 1 week. I don't know if it has given its representation to FSSAI as yet or not. And if it has already given, and I hope FSSAI says to them that, yes, we are going to implement 15th October order at any cost. And I hope FSSAI implements that order. Right now, it's not in the court anymore. What the Honorable High Court said is, if FSSAI's decision today, I don't know, basically after the representation is against them, then they are free to again go back to the court. As of now, this matter is not sub judice.
As far as I read, FSSAI says...
Let me finish. The reason they gave us that they have a lot of stock in circulation and they have a lot of goodwill from people for their brand. And so this notice was too sudden for them. So they need time to represent themselves to the FSSAI.
You know, but as far as I read, you also have the FSSAI who said that, yes, we've banned the ORS that does not meet with WHO standards, but at the same time, we've not demanded for a disposal of existing stocks. How would you read that?
So FSSAI said that some of us have misrepresented facts and said that some of us have actually accused them of allowing this company to dispose of the stocks. No, we have objected to FSSAI consenting to the request of JNTL in the Delhi High Court that their representation be heard by FSSAI. FSSAI should have objected to that there itself. If FSSAI had objected and said, no, we won't consent to this, maybe the stay order also wouldn't have come. Now the onus is on FSSAI to make sure, see, they were given 1 week notice. So by today, JNTL should have given their representation to FSSAI, and FSSAI should have come out with the decision that, yes, 15th October order will be implemented at any cost.
So you're saying can companies at this point continue selling their stock or not?
Because it's on hold, right? So I don't know if FSSAI has been given the representation by JNTL, and I don't know if FSSAI has given a decision today. I still have to check the FSSAI website.
Okay. How would you look at it?
If FSSAI says no, you can't sell anymore, 15th October order stands valid, then from today, right now, from the time FSSAI issues that order, it cannot be sold.
Okay. Widespread misuse of the brand ORS. When you first raised the red flag, what really triggered you to do so?
An observation by a pediatrician that children who should improve, who should not get dehydrated after giving ORS, were actually getting more dehydrated. Their diarrhea was worsening. And when I did ask the parents what they were giving, they brought these packs and said, we are giving this. Then I realized, okay, I've asked them to give ORS, but they were giving this high sugar liquid, which has almost 10 times the sugar that is recommended in WHO recommended formula ORS. And it is a no-brainer, and it's a well-known medical fact. And we all know that high sugar worsens diarrhea. And these people were there everywhere, pharmacies, hospitals, clinics, schools, everywhere. everywhere. And you go and ask for ORS, you're not getting WHO recommended formula ORS sachets at all. You're getting these Tetra packs. That's when I started raising awareness, and that wasn't enough, I felt. So I wrote to CDSCO in 2021 and I sent the Tetra packs to them and I asked them, how can you give permission? So then CDSCO said, no, boss, we didn't give permission. FSSAI has given permission. Basically, this company was very smart. They have got permission for selling it as a beverage.
Yeah.
But they kept it everywhere in hospitals, pharmacies, everywhere. Okay. And so whenever anybody went and asked for ORS, they were being given this and not the WHO recommended formula that you're showing on the screen right now.
My God.
Pot and I mean, like,
did you get threatened by any of these companies? These are all high-flying companies with billions of dollars at stake.
everybody is asking me. No direct threats, but I was trolled quite a bit in social media from fake accounts, including threats. Yeah, it was scary sometimes, but yeah, I didn't want to step back. This has to be one for the children of this country.
Yeah.
So, and they did issue an order on 8th April 2022 saying you can't use ORS on the label.
Yeah.
Even rebalance with ORS. But on July 14, 2022, they changed the order and said, okay, you sell, but write a disclaimer here. This is not an ORS. Disclaimers cannot protect dubious labels. And how many people in India actually can read and understand disclaimers?
Yeah.
And even educated people don't read. Of course, we should, but we don't. And then what about the people, rural people?
Oh, no, forget rural people. I would be confused. Until now, in fact, until this order came about, until your fight was, you know, it came to fore and there was, you know, spotlight shed on this entire struggle that you've had, I did not know this was such a serious issue. If I saw an ORS bottle, I would reach out for it. And I would assume that, you know, those ORS sachets are also quite sugary, which is why this is also sugary. But what's the difference? Those ORS sachets, WHO recommended ORS sachets versus these ORS Tetra packs. What's the big
ORS
difference?
sachets are not
Both are
sugary.
sugary. They're also
taste
sugary.
like tears.
I love it. it's nice and sugary.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
They are not sugary. They taste like tears. Okay, the osmolarity is 245 milliosmoles per liter. And they have 13.5 gram per liter of glucose, as you rightly pointed out in the beginning. And you have rightly pointed out that people should mix 4 gram sachet in 200 ml water and 20 gram sachet in 1 liter water and use it for 24 hours and then discard it. You have rightly pointed out. Okay, so this has 10 times more sugar, 120 grams per liter.
My God.
So this pack has 5 teaspoons sugar. So obviously it will worsen the diarrhea. And you know, in the under 5 age group, out of 100 deaths, 13 deaths are due to diarrhea.
Yeah.
Diarrhea can kill.
Absolutely.
So
no, this
people like this, and it's obvious that the label is there here for that very purpose, to mislead people. Not that they didn't know. In Delhi High Court, Mrs. Rupa filed a case because her child's condition deteriorated. They know this company people knew this, but still they wanted to stick to their trademark because that's how they are able to sell.
So, from what I understand here is that these big companies are now fighting to clear off stock until then. But why were they given permission in the first place? Is there any kind of checks that's being done by the FSSAI or the medical fraternity to ensure that such brands do not fool vulnerable people? Dr. Sajji Bagai, could you step in on this? First of all, my question, when you're feeling slightly weak and dizzy, the first thing you do is eat something sweet, you know, a sugar candy or something like that. Give us a sense of why these ORS Tetra packs are so dangerous that it could have an adverse effect.
Good evening. So there are a few important points to highlight, and I think it's important just for the first 30 seconds to draw out what the basic parameters are, therefore basing this discussion forward. We know that acute gastroenteritis or diarrhea with or without vomiting and intestinal infection kills more than 6 to 7 lakh children every year in India. It's one amongst the most leading causes of death, especially in rural India under the age group of 5. is largely what we see in smaller children who already have comorbidities, including malnourishment. Now, you already have a label which is carrying ORS. According to me, this is a misleading, this is a mischievous advertisement campaign to piggy bank on a label which is WHO standardized. So this itself on law is bad. Point number two, in a child who's sick, in a child who's dehydrated, already there is stress, there is infection, there are stress hormones like cortisol which are released. In this very vulnerable state, you are subjecting a child to a high concentration of glucose with an abnormal concentration of sodium and potassium. So let me explain to the viewers what this does. This causes what we call as a hyperglycemic, means high glucose, and hyperosmolar, that means your blood becomes much thicker. This, in fact, pulls in more water into your gut through various mechanisms and sodium pores, and it worsens the dehydration and it thickens the blood further. Neurological complications, heart complications, further dehydration, acute kidney injury, as it is, the children are on a very thin margin with dehydration as far as the kidney function is concerned. So this, what you are doing is creating an ideal recipe of disaster. Just allow me 30 seconds more, Jamila. Now, when you're looking at a situation, especially outside major hospitals, a lot of GPs, a lot of pediatricians would routinely write ORS. The person goes to the shelf as parents, they pick up ORS. You are subjecting a child to literally near-death events by giving this. J&J as a company, and I'm naming it and I have no shame in naming it, already have a FSSAI number and license. First question is, why was it given?
That's precisely my point. Shouldn't there be criminal liability here for these kind of brands?
I think heads should roll, and FSSAI itself is directly culpable in this mess. Point number two, you are now subjecting it to a jurisdiction of a court, and the court has given a judgment which, according to me, with all humbleness, with great honor to the courts, is not accurate medically or scientifically. You cannot subject 36% of Indian population, which is children, to a 180 crore ransom. This is utter nonsense. Somewhere we need medical science coming in. We need to put human lives first. We need to put children's lives first.
Yeah.
An ill child is a sick adolescent, is a bad health adult. Why are we doing this to our own community? Why are we doing this to our own country? Someone needs to wake up and tell the court what is happening.
Yeah.
This is fundamentally wrong scientifically.
Should doctors, come out to educate parents who are not aware? Dr. Shikha, would you want to comment on that? Since it's out there for sale and it's placed right next to WHO recommended ORS in pharmacies and shelves, it's very easy to reach out for an easy Tetra Pak rather than take a powder and mix it with water. You're just reaching out to a Tetra Pak which is ready. You just sip on it. So that's actually that has made it easier for these companies to sell, making it easier for parents to make their children drink it. Because that doesn't look very appealing. That powder doesn't look appealing. A Tetra Pak looks appealing. So what's the duty of the doctors, by and large, to ensure parents are educated?
I agree with you that parents should be educated, but let me put few points one by one. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate the doctors, and especially for filing the case, because this is, I think, extremely important. The first thing I would like to say that ORS works like medicine, and it is shocking that ORS has been given this license, because of which God knows how many children would have already died. So I would say this should be a criminal offense. This cannot be looked at as pure food, because this is not food by any stretch of imagination. This is medicine, and medicine, any adulteration, even little bit, or even mislabeling should be a criminal offense, because it is a medicine for the child, number one. Number two, I would urge and request FSSAI not to knuckle up or bend, because whether it's 180 crore or 2,000 crore, God knows how many kids have already died. So money cannot come before lives. So that is my second thing. Third thing is, see, education works, it takes time. But today, if there is a child in a hospital who's suffering from diarrhea and the parents are told, please get ORS and feed the child, how many doctors would be able to see which ORS they're feeding? Because they're busy in their emergency, they're busy in their hospitals. They would not come and see every drink being given. So what I'm saying is, it's a ticking time bomb. And like I'm saying that in villages there are nobody available. So whatever is available at the pharmacy shop, at the hospital, wherever, they will just give it to the child, little realizing that this is killing the child. The osmolarity is 10 times. It's like sucking out the rest of the water also in the body.
Yeah. Dr.
So
Bagai?
Just very quickly, it's for a common viewer who has small children, and I hope this program is being viewed by millions all over India, and I hope it's repeated again and again. Apart from the fluid loss and dehydration, that means low volume in your arterial and venous system.
Yeah.
A child in diarrhea suffers a lot of electrolyte imbalance. That's hurting the kid as it is who's sick. By giving a child an abnormal concentration of glucose and a skewed concentration of sodium and potassium, you're exaggerating the mortality hugely. Point number two, an ORS solution, what we tell parents and all our association in pediatrics are campaigning for this, is a simple chutki bhar namak and 1 teaspoon of simple sugar in a cup of water does the trick for a child, and the cost is less than 1 rupee. This packet of 200 ml is being sold for 35 to 40 rupees. Somewhere down the line, we got to look beyond commercials. We have to put a child's life on priority. We need to give the correct messaging. And I hope and pray that the court sees what is right and comes down strictly on FSSAI and this company who has a track record. I will just jog people's memory down. A couple of years back, they have a 744 million lawsuit of asbestos in talcum powder. They have a 340 million lawsuit of selling wrong women contraceptive devices and other lawsuits too. We have to come down heavily on these multinationals. They are offloading these drugs on India. India is not a dumping ground. We are pretty good on our own.
Well, ma'am, Ms. Sivaranjani, your final take on this. Do you fear that this court battle that JNL is fighting will actually lead to court allowing for stocks to clear out? Maybe under a different, or maybe not kept in shelves near the original ORS, kept separately. Maybe a direction to pharmacies that you should, keep this as a beverage, a sweet beverage instead of ORS, and not offer it to patients. I don't know what kind of direction can possibly come out, but do you fear that this will be back on shelves? It's already on shelves. It's not been taken off.
Indians are not guinea pigs, and nobody should take us for a ride. And I think FSSAI will give the order and honor the order of 15th October, and these should not come back onto the shelves. Not only this, any drink other than WHO recommended formula ORS and plain water should not be available in pharmacies, clinics, schools, hospitals, or anywhere. And the label ORS should not be used on any drink other than WHO recommended formula ORS, even if you're selling in supermarkets.
Okay.
This has to be very, 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 very clear.
All right, so let's just hope the Delhi court is watching and gives an order that ensures that Indians are not fooled any longer. If there is a decision taken by the FSSAI, hopefully it's adhered to and with immediate effect. There shouldn't be any more delay. Yeah, ma'am?
Yeah, I really wish if things go against people of India, Supreme Court should take it up suo motu.
Will you reach out?
Not yet. I'm really hopeful and have the confidence.
Yeah, you waited for 8 years. You're willing to wait this out. You believe that justice will come out of this.
Yes.
I feel that these companies should ideally be sued for misleading people. Forget ban, they should also be pursued legally.
And even the officials of FSSAI need to be investigated, whoever has allowed this to happen.
Surely. Thank you very much. I really appreciate Dr. Sivaranjani, Dr. Sanjeev Bagai and Dr. Shikha Sharma for joining us here today.
Thank you.
A quick break and we'll be right back on Delhi's gearing up for Chhat Puja, very popular festival in Delhi, and that happens by the river banks. And here, Delhi's Yamuna is polluted and frothing. I'm going to take you through details on that with our panelists on board. Stay with us.